The Dodgers have a serious problem on their hands, and there isn't a lot of time left to fix it. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. 94% of you have not yet subscribed. The ones that are watching, I want to thank the 5% of you that have already hit the subscribe button. There's another channel in our company, Yankees Digest, that covers the Yankees, and they're beating us right now in subscriber counts. So we got to make sure we beat them and get more subscribers, because the Dodgers are always going to be better than the Yankees. Let's get right into it. The Dodgers have some serious issues, and they were basically, in full display tonight at Dodger Stadium in a 9-4 loss to the Philadelphia Phillies. I was actually at the ballpark tonight. I was actually at the game among the 45,000 fans that were in attendance. I got my Sandy Koufax bobblehead, Dodger legend. For me, the best Dodger pitcher of all time. This guy has got to be one of the biggest legends for sure, and it was a really cool bobblehead. Going to add this to my bobblehead collection. But Sandy Koufax is not on this team. I wish he was. Yeah, we don't have that anymore. The Dodgers have some serious pitching issues, and tonight it was on full display. A complete collapse. Had a 4-1 lead and ended up losing the game 9-4. I mean, just terrible. Just in every sense of the word when it comes to pitching. Gavin Stone started out the game. It was kind of a bad omen. He gave up a home run in his first at bat to Kyle Schwarber. And Schwarber, as we know, ended up having a historic night at Dodger Stadium. Gavin Stone definitely settled down after that, but just everybody else who came in. I just wanted to kind of go over, just Dodgers, losing 2 out of 3. Their lead is now only 3 games over the D-backs, which is terrible to hear, terrible to know, because the D-backs are one of the hottest teams right now in baseball. But I just wanted to go over, the Dodgers' active pitching roster. And, we just can't be surprised with the lack of bullpen support that the Dodgers have. Look at who they have in the bullpen. I mean, Anthony Banda. I mean, a pitcher that, before this year, I didn't know who it was. Or, Brett Honeywell, a pitcher that has been a journeyman in this league and hasn't really, settled in. Daniel Hudson, an aging Hudson. Joe Kelly, another aging pitcher. Michael Kopech's a new guy. Can't say too much about him, but he hasn't really been an elite, bullpen pitcher prior to being with the Dodgers. And then you go to the next slide here. Evan Phillips. He has been a complete disaster for the Dodgers. Ritter Ryan, can't say much about him. He's just one of the new pitchers. Gavin Stone has been solid, but has definitely been shaky as of late in his last few starts. And then Alex Vesia. The guy has been a complete disaster for the Dodgers. I really hope he's not wearing Dodgers jersey next year. Tonight was one of his bad nights. He was able to get out of when he came in when he came in for Stone with the runner on second, he was able to get through that. But then the next inning was a complete disaster. But can't blame it all on Alex Vesia and the Dodgers pitching. But tonight, the big highlight or the big storyline was that MLB challenge rules suck. They sure do. Because think about it, the Phillies won 3 challenges in this game, and the Dodgers, when it came down to a moment where they had to challenge, they were not allowed to challenge the call. It was complete disaster tonight, and it just goes back to the Major League Baseball. It's run by probably the worst commissioner in sports history, in Rob Manfred. The guy has ruined the game of baseball. He's one of the worst commissioners of all time. I put him up there with Gary Bettman as one of the worst. And he has a lot to do with the disastrous MLB challenge rules. And tonight, it was on full display with the Dodgers, not being able to challenge a call that should have been challenged. An obstruction call from Miguel Rojas in front of the base. And Dave Roberts, spoke about this. Dave Roberts was ejected from this game. You could tell he was really frustrated, for sure. But just a complete disaster for sure. But let's go to Dave Roberts, what he had to say after the game.
About to explain the call to me. And to be fair, I was just trying to defuse the situation. As I looked at the replay, he missed the call. And again, I this might be the first time I've ever said that, it was an egregious miscall. Their job's hard. That changed the game. When you're playing baseball and you are an infielder on the move trying to field a ball coming to you and you have an oncoming base runner, you still have to secure the baseball, know that the runner is still coming towards third base, and then you got to put a tag. It's a tag play. And so as I saw the replay, Miggy fielded the baseball about a foot in front of the bag, 2 feet in front of the bag, and did give Bohm a lane because his legs were spread wide with the glove making the tag. And so the spirit of the rule was to deter infielders from blocking the bag, not giving a base runner a lane or a spot towards a bag and potentially hurting the base runner. And so this play, again, he's on the move, he fields the ball, his legs are spread wide, so the lane is in between his legs, and he makes a tag. And so with that, again, it's fast, it needs to be reviewable. That play changed the complexion of the game, and he got it wrong. That's just the fact. And again, like I said, umpiring is hard. They do a great job. Tonight, that play affected the game.
Dave Roberts there speaking to the media. That's courtesy of Spectrum Sportsnet LA. So Dave Roberts, was ejected from this game after a just terrible call from the third base umpire. And, you could see the replay in replays that were shown during the broadcast. Miguel Rojas is not obstructing the plate. He's not obstructing third base. He's just simply trying to catch the ball to make a tag on the runner. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, and like Dave Roberts says, this play should have been a challengeable play, but it goes back to the terrible MLB challenge rules. In my opinion, I think there's no place for challenges in baseball if they're not going to be able to challenge everything. I mean, you either dip your toes completely or you don't do it at all. I mean, I just think that's the way it should be done, because right now there's certain plays that can't be challenged, and they're all, left at the discretion of the umpire. And as we know, these umpires, most of them don't know what they're doing. Baseball is probably the worst officiated sport out of all the major sports in the United States. I mean, it's the most inconsistent when it comes to balls and strikes, and just basically everything in general. It's the worst officiated sport in general. So, I mean, should we really trust these umpires in making these discretionary calls? I wouldn't. I mean, clearly tonight, the umpire did not do their due diligence. The third base umpire, and then the crew chief didn't step in and say, hey, you messed up there. That was the wrong call. You screwed up. Nobody did it. So I wouldn't trust these guys. I think there should have been a challenge right there, and somebody else should have made that decision for that third base umpire who clearly doesn't know his job. So clearly the Dodgers, got robbed in that inning, because after that, as we know, it was a huge inning for the Phillies. They tagged on and poured it on and ended up making this 8-4 at that point. Schwarber tacked on another run later on, but it was a huge inning for the Phillies. A collapse, right? A 3-run homer from Schwarber, and it all kind of started right from there, from that moment when the umpire, made that terrible call. So what's next for the Dodgers? Well, I mean, if we really think about what's next for the Dodgers, well, they're gonna have to start winning some ball games, because if the D-backs are coming right at them. They're 3 back. They got a big Labor Day series with the Dodgers in Arizona. So hopefully by then the Dodgers have a bit of a lead on the D-backs, and it's not so close, because that series could potentially decide who wins the NL West. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. And, they're going to have to fix that bullpen. I mean, and there isn't much they could do. I mean, there's probably going to be some players they could pick up at the waiver wire, which is the end of this month. They can still sign some players from other, teams that are cutting pitchers. There's still that opportunity. As I went over the pitching roster the Dodgers have at the start of this video, there just isn't a lot there in the bullpen and the active roster. You got a lot of aging pitchers, guys that really, are not going to be playing Major League Baseball in 2 to 3 years. It's that simple as that. I mean, a lot of these guys are not going to be playing in the major leagues in 2 to 3 years, and right now they're playing on the Dodgers. Just the way it is. Make sure to subscribe to Dodgers Digest for more great Dodger news.